All right, let's dig into a really interesting puzzle in the world of agriculture. How do you make sure the food you give your plants actually gets eaten? Today, we're going to look at a pretty clever fertilizer called EDTA-MIX that was built to solve exactly that problem. So let's just start with a question that I think a lot of growers have asked themselves. You've put all the right nutrients in your soil. So why do your crops sometimes still look like they're starving? It's a super frustrating problem, but it turns out it's probably not your fault. You see, the real culprit here, the villain of our story, is a process called soil fixation. The best way to think about it is like an invisible barrier in your soil that just snatches up all those good minerals and locks them away before your plants ever get a chance to use them. So, what is this hidden problem in the soil really? Let's break it down a little further. Here's what's happening on a chemical level. You've got these essential micronutrients, right? We're talking about heavy hitters like iron, zinc, and manganese. Well, they have a tendency to react with the soil itself. They get trapped or precipitated, and once that happens, they're basically useless. The plant can't absorb them no matter how much more you add. Okay, so if the soil itself is the problem, just locking up all the good stuff, how in the world do you get around that? Well, this is where a smarter solution comes into play. And that solution is EDTA-MIX. This isn't just about dumping more nutrients onto the field. Nope. It's designed to be a special delivery system that actually bypasses that lock the soil tries to put on everything. So how does it do that? The secret sauce behind all this is a technology called chelation. It's some pretty cool science, and it makes all the difference. So what is EDTA chelation? Put simply, it's a process where a protective molecule, in this case EDTA, literally wraps itself around a nutrient. It acts like a personal shield, protecting that nutrient from getting all tangled up and locked away by the soil. It keeps it free and ready for the plant to grab. Let's walk through it. Without any protection, a nutrient just wanders into the soil and bam, it gets locked up. But with this stuff, the EDTA molecule swoops in like a bodyguard. It grabs onto the nutrient, protects it on its journey through the soil, and hand delivers it right to the plant's roots. It's basically a VIP escort service for minerals. Okay, the science is cool, for sure. But what does this actually mean for you and your crops? Let's talk about the real-world features and benefits. You can really boil it down to 4 main advantages. First, you get that awesome nutrient protection we've been talking about. Second, that means your plants are getting the actual nourishment they need. Third, it's safe to use, so you don't have to worry about damaging the leaves. And finally, it's got this great formula that dissolves super easily. No dust, no caking. And there's more. Because those nutrients are so readily available, you see faster absorption, and the effects stick around longer. The dust-free formula is a huge labor saver too, which is great for mechanization. All of this, of course, can lead to a really nice bump in your yield and quality. Plus, it works in all different kinds of soils, and it's easy to store because it resists moisture. Now, those are some pretty big claims, but here's the thing. They're backed up by cold, hard data. You can see the quality and precision for yourself right in the product's certificate of analysis. Let's actually look at the numbers here, because this is where the trust is built. The specifications column, that's the promise. The test results column, that's the proof. So look at iron, Fe. The promise is 4.0%. The actual result for this batch, 4.2%. It's not just meeting the spec, it's exceeding it. And you see the same story all the way down for zinc, manganese, and boron. This tells you you're getting exactly what you paid for every single time. That's what real quality control looks like. So we know the technology works. Now for the practical stuff. How do you use it? Well, EDTA-MIX actually comes in 2 different forms, granular and powder. So you can pick what works best for your operation. So you've got 2 choices here, granular or powder, and they're each designed for a different kind of job. You can think of the granular form as the marathon runner. It's all about long-term release. The powder, on the other hand, is the sprinter. It's all about quick action. So which one is right for you? Well, if you're working with large fields, maybe using a lot of machinery, and you want that long-term, slow-release effect, the granular fertilizer is your go-to. It saves labor and you lose less of it. But if you need a fast fix, or you want to integrate your fertilizer with your water system for really precise control, then the powder form gives you that speed and flexibility. At the end of the day, the granular option really does give you the best of both worlds. You get the easy, convenient application of granules, but with all the power and efficiency of that chelation technology. It's a combo that's just perfectly suited for the demands of modern large-scale farming. So let's end with this thought. For so long, the answer to better crops has been just add more fertilizer, more water. But what if the next huge leap forward in your yield doesn't come from adding more stuff at all? What if it comes from unlocking the true potential of what you're already using? What if the future is just being smarter?